Davante Adams to the Jets. What about it?
Will that...
I don't think it'll help.
You don't think it'll help?
Nah, it'll probably... I mean...
By the way, he's magically healthy now. He was hurt, and they asked him about his hamstring, and he said he's good to go. So, apparently, the flight to New York was magical.
Maybe you got one of those Deshaun Watson massages.
One of them James Harden injuries, actually.
Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers had some magic oil he gave him or something.
Probably. He immunized him.
Yeah. But no, he's against that. But
he's against vaccine.
Yeah,
he's not against immunized because he said he was immunized,
but
then they were like, but then later it came out he's not vaccinated. Yeah. They were like, you said you were immunized. He's like, that doesn't mean that can mean anything.
Well, could just predict
it might
the games.
What do you think? You think it's gonna help? It probably will. I mean, getting him back with Aaron Rodgers, they were good together before in the past, but Aaron may have actually, father time maybe catching up to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he did take care of himself the way Brady did, and I think it makes them better. But to me, it's too little, too late. They should have done this before the season started, because now you're 2-4. So even if you're better now, and you say that you're at like a 60% win pace, you're a little bit better than 500 now. By the end of the year, you're going to win 8 or 9 games, and you're not going to get in.
Yeah.
So if they were going to do this, they should have done this before the year started. Maybe they could have won 10 or 11 games and got in.
Well, maybe he wasn't available then.
I gotta believe he was available, unless the Raiders truly believed that they were going to be competing for something this year, which maybe they were.
Every team believes that.
Maybe that's the problem.
I mean,
with some of these GMs, every one of them thinks that we're gonna be better than what we actually are.
When you haven't played a game, they all believe. It's not until right about now that you realize that teams realize, oh, we suck.
You're telling me that the Carolina Panthers thought that this year they were gonna be decent? There's no way.
Maybe deep down they thought
there's no
we're
way.
not. But
they had to know every day when they saw Bryce Young in practice. They had to know we are going to be awful.
What about the Browns? Do you think they went all in and have spent so much money?
Okay.
They said that the Browns have spent more money than any team in the league.
And they are teams that we knew were going to be bad. The Patriots, the Panthers,
the Browns
and the
are
Raiders.
dumb. Okay, they don't count them.
But look how bad they are. You're talking about Deshaun must be magical in practice. You think he's so great in practice? I mean, there's people before the season, like media and different other people on the internet talking about, they're a Super Bowl contender. It's like, no, they're not even going to make the playoffs. I said that before the season started. So they're not even going to make the playoffs. So what happened to them? Every team thinks they got. There's hope when you're 0-0. When you're 0-0, there's hope.
I think
by week 4 or 5, then you're like, man, we suck.
I think that the Browns are better than the Panthers and the Patriots. I think that if they were not playing Deshaun, they would be way better than those teams. If they would have stuck with Joe Flacco, they would have been way better than those teams. But those teams, to me, had no future this year. They were not going to be good.
You know what? It wouldn't shock me if the Browns would lose to the Panthers. Honestly. They are horrible. They can't even put up 20 points in a game. I mean, it's just pathetic. Maybe
they should play 20. The Giants, and maybe they won't have to score 20.
All right, so you talked about whoever that was, the Jets, Davante Adams. Yeah. What was the other big trade with Amari Cooper? The Browns just give up?
Yeah, they give up. That's them folding. They folded.
And Amari Cooper wasn't happy either, so he was one.
Is any player at the Browns happy other than Watson?
He's not even happy. He's just rich.
Yeah.
It's hard to be sad when you're making $50 million.
He's So, yeah, I mean, they were already, I think, the season was done, obviously. But now, I mean, wait, you're throwing, how's that help? That's not going to help the team or Watson when he's throwing to Elijah Moore, Judy, and Tillman. I mean, that's it. Those aren't exactly great receivers.
Your already awful offense is going to be worse.
Yeah.
They're going to be...
It's just going to be awful. They're going to score even less, if that's possible.
I think it was Stefanski or... Is Haslam the GM or is he the owner? I don't know.
Haslam's the owner.
One of them talked about how getting rid of Cooper could benefit them because now their other receiving talent has a chance to shine.
No,
What
it's
talent?
ridiculous.
I don't know what talent. I'm just saying what I heard.
If
And
those guys
can't
are
even tell you
so
exactly what
talented, that is
guy
stupid.
said
If they
it.
were so talented, why weren't they on the field?
And
They
they
were
well,
on the
some
field.
of them were. They just wanted. I mean, that's just dumb. Because it's like if you're already on the field, then you have an opportunity to shine anyway. And if Amari Cooper's on the field and he's the best receiver, then he's getting more attention from the defense. You already should be able to shine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's more interesting. What does it do for the Bills? Do you think that? How much does that make them like a contender? Does it make them a contender now?
It has to help them. I don't know if it makes them. I don't know if it puts them over the top to a Super Bowl, but I think it definitely makes them better. Amari Cooper's still not that speedster kind of guy. I mean, he's lost some of his speed, but he runs really good routes, and he usually is okay catching the ball. This year he's had a lot of drops, but I don't know how much of that is just him frustrated with Deshaun.
Not focused.
Not focused because he gets open and then never gets the ball thrown to him.
I did see a couple of his drops that were like, he'd run like a little drag route. It's like 5-yard pass, and he's like open, and Watson would throw it. And yes, he dropped it, but he threw the ball like way above his head, and he had to like jump up to try and catch it, and he dropped it. But it's like he's probably thinking, "Oh, I'm wide open. He's probably just gonna put it right in my hands." But no.
Yeah, there's
Probably
a lot
Josh
of
Allen will, right? Like Josh Allen will put it right in his hands.
So I think that
Cooper's definitely getting an upgraded quarterback.
Yeah, he's definitely getting upgraded. Now, do you think it's going to put them to a Super Bowl?
I think that.
I don't think.
I think that you had the Chiefs are the juggernaut.
Unfortunately.
And then you got the rest is underneath them. I think that now that puts the Bills in the same category as the Ravens and the Texans. Like those three are like the next.
I don't know.
Ones.
I mean, the Bills couldn't beat the Chiefs last year.
Or the year before that.
At
Or the year
Buffalo.
before that.
But they were at
Or the
Buffalo
year before that.
last year, right? The Chiefs had to go on the road.
Wow.
And that was a good opportunity for them. You got them at home, you still couldn't do it. And unless something happens, between now and the end of the season, most likely the Chiefs are going to have home field advantage this year.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Bills beating them.
I mean,
Arrowhead.
the Chiefs are 5-0, and Mahomes is playing.
He's not
awful.
playing well.
He's been awful. He's got 6 touchdowns and 6 picks. He's been awful, and they're 5-0. So if he even just turns it up a little bit, they're going to be freaking almost unbeatable.
If you're the Chiefs, do you try to go get Tyreek Hill back?
Why?
Well, what's his name got hurt? Didn't he?
Rasheed Rice, but
is he out? Is
They
he out for the year?
They thought he tore his ACL at first, but they still have not confirmed that. So,
and I thought
he's on injury reserve right now.
And I thought there were some whispers that they might be interested in trading Tyreek Hill, but maybe that was not true.
It really depends. If the Dolphins are deciding that Tua is not going to be healed in time to play, and they're like, okay, the season's lost.
This season's shot, yeah.
They have to ask themselves, do we trade Tyreek, and then we're basically saying we're going to reset next year. We're not even trying next year either. Or do you try to keep him, and maybe Tua comes back early enough where you could squeak in the playoffs, or maybe next year you could compete, because without Tyreek, Tua's nothing.
Well, I don't think Tua's that great anyway. He's not the greatest. I wouldn't really build with him anyway. But I don't think he's the greatest. And then on top of that, he's got all these injuries, So
I agree with
I
that.
wouldn't be counting on him next year to be the answer to send us to the Super Bowl if I was Miami anyway.
So what would
Even
be
if he was able to stay
what would be a good
healthy.
price then?
To trade?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
The Dolphins say we want a first and second round pick.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what the Chiefs have.
They got all
I'm
those
sure
picks.
they have all
they've
their
done
picks.
They've done a good job.
And they probably have
not doing what we're talking about.
Yeah,
doing.
and they probably have a good salary cap situation.
Yeah,
too.
because they got rid of guys like Tyreek.
Even
Hill.
though, well,
Ladarius needs another great player on defense that they let go because they wanted to keep their salary cap.
yeah, but they put so
be.
much money into Mahomes, too.
Well,
I don't know.
They
They
one of
probably.
those few guys that actually can make the players around him better.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think they'll do it. That was just something that I heard out there. Andy Reid's he's a good enough coach. He can still find a way to win, even with.
Yeah, I think they'll pick up
people
somebody.
out.
I think they'll trade, since Rasheed Rice got hurt, I think they'll trade like a 4th or 5th round pick maybe and get like maybe Brandon Cooks, a guy like that that's
Get somebody
a
else.
veteran that's a decent player, but not someone they have to mortgage a 1st round, maybe even a 2nd round pick,
Right.
to get. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, they've built their team by drafting and developing guys
Yeah.
and not overpaying for people.
Yeah. But I do think, back to Amari Cooper, I mean, I think it does help the Bills. And the Browns, I don't know. They're hopeless. I think it's really sad from where they went. They were at a point there a few years ago where it looked like things were going up.
They were a play or two away from making the AFC Championship game. One missed call because that hit to the head that probably should have been flagged, wasn't.
Yeah.
And then
could have put them in.
And then one Baker Mayfield injury, they decided to blow it up.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Switch out with Deshaun Watson.
And then I've heard a lot of Browns fans and being on, not fans, but watching some of their shows, in Cleveland. But there's a lot of them talking about even if they pretty much tank the rest of the year, they don't get the number 1 overall pick. They're like, yeah, do you trust this GM and these people to get that pick right? Because honestly, you go back, look at his picks. His picks haven't been that great.
How can these guys still have a job if they get the number 1 overall pick?
No, they should. But that's what's crazy too is Stefanski. He's won Coach of the Year twice. Well, some people think those awards don't mean that much, but I mean, he did a phenomenal job last year getting to the playoffs with so many different quarterbacks. But the organization is just messed up, and it starts at the top with the owner and trickles down because it's dysfunction from the top, and he interferes too much. And I have a suspicion that Paul D. Podesta analytics genius. I think he interferes too much, and the dude was from baseball. He's not a football guy. He needs to be gone. He should be fired and gone. I mean, I think nobody ever says exactly what he does, but you hear all these rumors about him, and I bet he meddles and causes problems. He should be gone too. If you're gonna get rid of people and start over at the end of the year because they do so horrible, then it should be him and everybody else. And you bring in football people and stop with doing too much with the analytics.
He just wants pets, Ryan. He just wants you to scratch his head.
Petting. Mango. Is he on there?
Every other cat.
Adam's cat Mango. He's nice.
Every other cat that has seen me has hurt me.
They hate you. They hiss at you.
Yeah.